It's not a big secret here that I'm very excited for Battlefield 6, and unlike most of you, I'm really excited about the campaign. And with Battlefield 6 coming back, I thought this would be a perfect time for them to do a good modern campaign, kind of maybe tackling some of the things that's going on now, and just showing how much they've advanced since their previous campaign back in Battlefield 4. Now, I played Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, and both of those campaigns were very different from each other, I think, but you could tell that those games were from like the PS4 era, and it felt a little bit minimal on the like cinematic storytelling. I kind of felt that it fell a little short, specifically Battlefield 4. I thought Battlefield 3 did a really good job at telling the story that it wanted to tell and getting everybody involved and following a good plot line. I thought Battlefield 4 kind of slipped up a little bit. It felt maybe a little rushed. It felt like it wasn't hitting the points that it needed to. And I kind of got a little disappointed with it as I went on with the storytelling. Now, I know, opinions differ on that. Some people might think that 4 was better than 3, but since I played those and since we told the story so far, I've just been so interested and eagerly waiting for this new Battlefield 6 campaign. I want to know what state the world is in, where the story may take us, and will it set the stage for a potential sequel or a potential trilogy of games? That's what I'm really interested in. But another thing that I was kind of concerned of when I was thinking about the campaign was the gunplay, the gameplay, the game in general, how it was going to look. Because it can look a certain way when you see the trailers or when you see streamers playing it online or they're showing you the things they want you to see. So it could look very good in that way, but when you actually get the game, it could look very different. It could feel bad. And so when the beta released, I was able to get in both weekends, played early access, and I was able to really enjoy the game, learn to play the game as it was intended, get a feel for the gun sounds, get a feel for the shooting, get a feel for the movement, get a feel for everything. And I can take all of that and bring it over to the campaign. Now I know that the game is going to be good. Now I know that the gunplay is going to be enjoyable for me. And I'm honestly more excited than I was before, because before I was on edge. I didn't know if it was actually going to be good, because even if you have like a really good story and it's written well and you have cinematics and everything, if the gunplay doesn't feel good or if the gameplay just isn't enjoyable, then you're not gonna really have that much fun with it. It's gonna be a waste of time. I want to go back after I finish the campaign and replay it again. I want to play story sections that I really enjoyed, and that's the type of stuff that I like to do when I'm playing these military stories. I do like to go back and replay the missions, try them in different ways, and Battlefield 6 I think is gonna offer a very different experience than the one that I've had before in maybe other Battlefield games or even other Call of Duty games. Now, I have noticed that with Battlefield campaigns, they're much bigger. The maps are just much bigger, and there's a lot of exploration in those little mini maps. There's a lot of objectives to complete, and it's usually like a big war zone almost within a little map. So sometimes when you do a Call of Duty mission, for example, and I use Call of Duty because that's the one that we play the most here, but when you do a Call of Duty campaign, the maps are usually smaller and the objectives are a little bit quicker to get to. Sometimes a Call of Duty mission might take me maybe 15 minutes, 12 minutes to complete, so it's not really that long. But with a Battlefield mission, I came to realize, especially with Battlefield 4, that some of those missions, one singular mission could take up to 40, 52 minutes. Like, they are really long missions. So even if they don't have that many sections, you know that each section that you do get is going to be long. And so sometimes if you have long missions like that, the gameplay has to be enjoyable. You have to enjoy the gunplay. You have to enjoy what you're doing and really take it slow. I also like that the directors of the game, and we mentioned this before, talked about some of the inspirations. Taylor Sheridan's Lioness series on Paramount is a big inspiration. They talked about ordinary soldiers doing extraordinary things every day. That's kind of what they wanted. They also wanted to have a feel of the Alex Garland movie Civil War. And those two are just really cool inspirations to have. I think the Alex Garland one and Civil War is very interesting because of the sound design. Like, if you watch that movie, the sound, everything that's going on is so powerful, intense, loud. It kind of gives you this eerie feeling, like this scary kind of feeling that you don't know what's coming around any corner, or you don't even know who to trust. So I think that's really cool. And Special Ops Lioness is a show that I've enjoyed. I've watched both seasons, and they have a lot of very intense scenes, intense moments, and that's kind of what I want to see in the campaign. I want to see close-ups of maybe some of the conflicts that we're going through. I want it to feel realistic. I want it to feel cinematic. I want it to feel grounded. I love the color palette of Special Ops Lioness. It's almost like faded color. There's a lot of desert, dark brown, almost yellowish like tone to it. I think if the campaign can replicate that in 1 or 2 missions, and it could even up the stakes if you have a really cool color palette. So those are some of the things that I do hope they borrow from that series and from those movies. I think Battlefield 6 has a clear vision, and hopefully they're able to deliver on that vision. Because like we talked about a few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago now, the campaign was lacking behind everything else that Battlefield 6 was doing. The multiplayer was advanced. They're getting good progress on everything else. But the campaign was lacking. A year behind you. There were rewrites. There were new people coming in and taking charge, and insiders even revealed that the campaign should be delayed if possible. But they're not going to do that. They're going to release it all together. So I hope that the good can outweigh the bad that this campaign has, because this game here, Battlefield 6, I personally think needs a good campaign for them to achieve all the other things they want to achieve. Imagine if they have like a good campaign, a campaign that's grounded, that's interesting, that delivers. People are going to talk about it. People are going to say, wow, this is a good campaign, and they're going to compare it to the competitors. So I think they need a good campaign. They need a good multiplayer. They're going to need a good battle royale. They're going to need to deliver on a lot of different fronts. And I really hope the campaign isn't something that they just push to the side and say, okay, let's just give them that and let's move on.